Hey, we are back again with another podcast. We are here again, just making sure that we can start off our week with a little less chaos. Now, listen, I'm super excited. If you're following me on YouTube, you see already, or if you're catching the replay, or if you're with me right now, um, you'll see that I actually have a nice camera today. And if you followed me last week, you saw me sad about my camera not working, right? Well, that was my fault this time around. So Mac had an update. I updated it. And then right before, or maybe like 45 minutes before I was to start this podcast last week, I saw that I had another update. But we all know we do not update our computer right before we go do something on it, right? Of course not. Well, this is the time that I should have, because that is exactly why I could not use this camera last week, because I needed to update my computer. Y'all, I was so mad. But besides the point, today there's less chaos. Okay. And hopefully this podcast, this little podcast of mine, will help you start off your week with a little less chaos. We are always thinking about how we can intentionally start our week. Ooh, because we're all about intentional living. If you're catching the replay on Spotify, you can't see me shimmy in my sweatshirt. But if you're interested in getting a sweatshirt that lets the world know that you're intentional about your living, then go ahead and look at the links below, okay? Because I would love to see people walking around declaring that they are going to be intentional with every moment of their life. And matter of fact, I was actually thinking about doing a couple different designs, and I was thinking about changing this to intentionally living. Wait, there we go. So you can wait, there we go. Intentionally living. Just because it's like, it's a declaration for yourself. I'm intentionally living this life, right? So we'll see. So I'm about 80% sure I'm about to change this. So if you want this one that says intentional living, I would suggest you go to the website, because I probably will be switching these out pretty soon. Yeah, now that I think about it a little bit more. But anyway, as we mentioned, we are always here about trying to make sure that we have just a little less chaos in our lives, right? And that starts with reviewing our week. So of course, this podcast is just a way to give you the steps and also be a little entertained while you do it. So for us, what we do every single Monday morning is we talk about the good things. We talk about the things that happened the week before, because when we are thankful, when we think about what happened in the past, it allows us to be confident and excited about what's to come in the future. So we talk about the good things. Then we talk about what's on the docket, what actually is happening this week in our lives. That's the whole point of this podcast. We're actually taking a moment to look at our lives and see what the week entails, right? So that we can plan accordingly, so that we can adjust accordingly and not be surprised by life, so that we can be intentional about our life, right? And then I drop a little bit of an intentional topic of the week to help you grow in your intentionality. And this week we're talking about accountability. These past couple of weeks we've been talking about the cheat code to intentional living, right? And this week's topic is accountability. Yes, that is a cheat code. The first cheat code that I started with last week was being in God's presence. That is the key. That is the key to it all, being in God's presence. But then there's some other cheat codes that you can use too. And I'm trying to give you all the cheat codes, okay? For my gamers out there, AABAC, what I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what we're going to do today. And then we end off with prayer as usual, so that we can make sure that we are setting our minds and our hearts in the right direction for this week. Okay? So let's get into it. One good thing for me last week. Listen, last week was quite crazy. Okay? So many thoughts. Last week was the United States elections in 2024. And I have so many thoughts. I don't know how to all bring them all together. I did post a prayer for this season, because I really feel like we have to if you're a believer, we have to recenter and really make sure that our minds and our focus is on the truth, is not either extra jubilant or extra devastated because of whoever won, right? Like there is room for reflection and room for feeling sadness or joy. Yes. But what's the source of those feelings, right? And just making sure that our hearts and our minds were not dependent on who won, but that we're still dependent on the one that truly has the government on his shoulders, right? Not saying to not feel, not saying to not really understand your emotions, because it's important to. You cannot suppress your emotions. Matter of fact, God made emotions. Like, why did God make us that way if he didn't want us to feel? Why did God have emotions if he didn't want us to have emotions? And I should say, let's check our sources, right? And make sure that our dependence wasn't in the political game, but it was in God all along. So that's generally my thoughts on everything. Oh no, of course my stuff signs out on me. So we're gonna use my phone. You know how they be having those security checks where they just like sign you out periodically so that they force you to sign back in. Well, of course mine just did that. And now I got to go find my notes in in my phone, because clearly I'm not about to be in here trying to find this now, or sign in right now. So anyway, so back to what we're talking about. The one good thing of the week was that I got to hang out with my girlfriends. That was so much fun. We hung out. And we actually went to this show that had it was like a Whitney with the National Symphony Orchestra, and it was amazing. Okay. It was the National Symphony Orchestra accompanying Whitney with some of her songs. So like they had her up on this screen, they played different music videos, and the band was playing underneath. It was so good. So good. And then we also went to this restaurant called 60 Vines. Let me tell you, that food was good. I had a good time. Welcome folks who are coming in. We just finished talking about the good things that happened to me this week. I would love to find out what good things happened to you last week. So definitely drop those in the comments if you're here, because of course we're going through what we do every single week for our weekly review. So yes, so Whitney at the National Symphony Orchestra. I don't know if it was a one-night show. I hope not, because if it is not, please go to this show. Please find your way down to the Kennedy Center, okay? Because it was amazing. So what's on the docket? All right, so what is on the docket for me this week is writing. Okay, y'all, let me tell you, I've been playing. I've been playing with this devotional that I've been wanting to write, and I got to write. So today is actually Veterans Day, so I'm not going to work today. Well, the work that I do day to day, but I'm gonna be working. So I'm gonna be writing. And then also I'm gonna do my budget, because y'all, okay, so listen. Sometimes, when you're intentional, you're not always intentional, right? So oh, my friend is here. She told me yes on writing. Yes, girl, I'm writing. Okay, we gonna get this thing done, because the goal for this month is finished. And I'm gonna actually talk about that a little bit more, because this week's topic is all about accountability. So we're going to talk about what that means when I said that this goal for this month is to finish. All right. So yeah, so I'm going to do my budget, because listen, I didn't do my budget yet. I know. I've been acting funny. I've been acting a fool. But the beautiful thing about it is that it's not really me doing my budget from like scratch. I actually have a whole like year cash flow type of thing that I look at across the year and then adjust accordingly, right? So I didn't get a chance to adjust mine yet and like be like, okay, this is November. Is there any extra birthdays that I missed? Is there some things that I need to be thinking about? Do I need to readjust my restaurant budget because I had too much fun last week? Things like that. That I have to do. So make sure that you are doing that with your life. What is on your docket? Definitely drop it down below. Okay, now let's talk about this week's intentional topic. Okay, now like I mentioned before, this week's intentional topic is a continuation of the cheat code series. Last week we talked about how God's presence is the ultimate cheat code. Okay, well this week we're going to be talking about another cheat code, and that's accountability. Okay, and if you're catching me now, you're seeing me looking down, it's because I got to look on my phone. You know how it's so annoying how Google sometimes signs you out kind of like a security thing. Yeah, it signed me out in the middle of the podcast. Can you believe that? So thankfully we can look at it on the phone. Anyway, so this week is all about accountability. And what is accountability? Is basically getting people and things around you to check you. Okay, to make sure that you are getting the things done that you want and need to get done in your life. Okay, so we're going to talk about the reasons why it's so important to have a cheat code. I'm going to give you about 1, 2, 3, 4 reasons. 1, 2, how many reasons I got here? 4 reasons why you need accountability. That very first one is that it's going to help you get people's eyes around you, to get people, sorry, let me get my words together. You're able to have people who will keep your eyes focused on the right path. I love James 5:16, right? It says that therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. And the prayer of the righteous person is very powerful in its effect. But that whole thing is that we're praying to one another. We're talking to one another about the things that are going on in our lives, because being in community is major to helping you stay accountable. So they make sure that you have eyes on the things that you can't see. So it shows you blind spots in your life. When there's a person that can actually look and see, they be like, listen, girl, you had said that you was going to do this, but you didn't do that. Or it's like, you keep doing this same thing, but you don't see it. But that friend, that accountability partner can be like, hey girl, every time XYZ happens, you seem to do this. Is this what you want? Right? That is the power of accountability. Having somebody to catch those blind spots, having somebody to help you make sure that you're not missing something major in your life. Okay. So yes, they show you your blind spot because there truly is wisdom. All right. And a multitude of counsel. They encourage and heals you when you most need it. So those accountability partners make sure that you are encouraged and healed in the moments that you need it. Okay. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a great reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. That is the major part about accountability. When you have good accountability around you, you have somebody that's going to be there to lift you up when you fall, because you're inevitably going to fall at some point in life, right? And not because you're going to fail, not because you're not good at what you're doing, but because life is life, right? And you need those people around you to make sure that they can lift you up when you're down, or be that strength around you when you need it. One thing that I was thinking about just now was in the Bible, there is a story where Moses, is it Moses? Yeah, Moses is praying, and every time he had his hands up and lifted, Israel down in the valley was winning a battle. Well, if you keep your hands up for a very long time, you're going to get tired, right? Well, he had two people, Aaron and Hur, lifting his hands up so that his hands could stay up as long as Israel was fighting the battle. That is what accountability does. That is what a good friendship does as they surround you when you need the lifting up, when you need the encouragement. Okay. And then finally, accountability reads you when you need it. Okay. It reads you when you need it. You need somebody to come look at you and be like, girl, now see. Now you know you wasn't supposed to do that, right? Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. You need people that are actually going to sharpen you, that are actually going to look you in your eye and be like, girl, now, come on now. Didn't you say you was going to do XYZ? Why you ain't do it? Why you ain't doing it? I got those friends, and let me tell you, they get on my nerves. No, I love them. But no, seriously, like this is the joke about finish well, because I have a business accountability group, and we meet monthly. We go over the things that we said we were gonna do. Oh, my friend is laughing at me. We go over the things that we said that we were going to do, and then we look ourselves in the eyes and be like, now listen, why you ain't do it? What happened? Okay, right? So it's so important that you have those friends that read you when you need it. Okay. So those were the four things, right? You got to get you some people that'll have eyes for you when you don't have eyes, and keep you focused on the right path. You got to get somebody who's able to give you to show you your blind spots, right? Because there's power in the multitude of counsel. You need somebody to encourage and heal you when you need it, right? To lift your hands up when you can't lift them up yourselves. And then finally, you need somebody that's going to read you. Okay. You need somebody that's going to be looking you in your eye and be like, girl, you didn't do what you said you was going to do. Okay. All right. So, real quick before we go, I do want to tell you a couple of ways that you can get your accountability, right? Because I can't just tell you that you need it and then don't tell you how to get it. So, where can you get a couple things or people, or where can you get accountability? That's what I want. One, you can get them from your friends. The right friends can be strong fence around you and love you and make sure that you're going the path in which you want to go, right? Those friends are able to keep you strong. And let me tell you, when you have them, it's amazing. I have my business friends. I have my girlfriends. Like we call ourselves sister friends. Like these women around me, these people around me continue to keep me focused on where I said I wanted to go. They keep my eyes open. They're prayer warriors for me, right? And let me tell you, the power that you get from that is amazing. So find you friends. And I'm about to go in. There was a season when I did not have any friends, and that I could go along this journey growing in Christ in. And I literally had to pray to God to find them. But let me tell you, when they came, it was amazing. So if you're in that boat, you feel like you don't have friends, you don't have people who are trying to go the same place that you want to go, pray. Ask God. He will answer. All right. The other two are mentors. These are people that are a little bit further along than you, that you can go to and ask for help, but then also that you can observe. Some mentors are people that are actually in your life, and some mentors are people that are mentors in your head because you follow them online. Or you read their books, right? Make sure that you have people that are just a little bit further ahead of you so that you can grow and learn and all of that. And then the final one is personal accountability. Regular evaluation of your goals and life help you stay accountable to yourself, right? That's the whole purpose to this podcast, to help you be accountable to you, right? So having your regular reviews, having your weekly, your daily, your monthly reviews help you to have accountability for yourself, right? That's why I'm so big on having the reset every quarter. If you're interested, links below. That's why I'm so big on, if you're on my email list, you're getting a monthly email telling you to review your month, because it's so important that you find time to be accountable to yourself. Okay, so those are some of the places where you can find it: friends, mentors, and yourself, personal. All right. So that's what we got for today. I hope that this helped you. I hope that this cheat code, that you start to employ this cheat code, AABEC, whatever, the whole gamer. Anyway, I'm going to stop. Let's go ahead and end with our Dream Boost prayer. Let's pray, y'all. Lord, help us to find the right people to surround us and keep us focused. Give us discernment to pick well and humility to listen and act accordingly. Thank you in advance for my accountability partners. All right, y'all, that was it for today. I hope that this was something that's going to help you move forward in life. Accountability is another cheat code that is going to break chains for you. All right, see you next week for the last cheat. Well, no, not the last cheat code, the third cheat code of the month. All right, bye, y'all.